Let's talk about some books, shall we? Not gonna lie, my original idea was to actually just do a monthly wrap up. Things never go to plan, do they? At least not for me. Some months I just didn't feel like I read enough to make a whole video about it. And other months I was just too busy, especially the last couple of months when I was studying for finals and such. I did read. To be honest, I read way more than I expected, but I just didn't have time for anything else. Reading was a sort of escape for me to not be so stressed about finals. And it worked. Like it kept my mind busy, but not numbing it enough where I was just forgetting all the information from my exams and such. But anyway, let's just talk about some books with this book tag. And the first question is best book I've read so far this year. Do I really need to say it? No doubt, no shadow of a doubt. This is a 6 stars. The best book I've read this year, Count of Monte Cristo. It was quite something. Like, it's a classic for a reason. It moved me in so many ways. I still think about it. It has one of the best quotes I have ever read in a book, and it's overall just bloody amazing. But yeah, if you want to just hear all of my thoughts, I did make a video on it, and damn, yeah, I still feel the same way. I thought, when you finish reading a book and you have like so many emotions, like at least for me, like sometimes I feel like I could give 5 stars, like very nilly. You know, everything I felt in that moment, I still feel right now. Nothing's changed. Best book ever. For the best sequel I've read this year is from a book that I also read the first book this year as well. Since we're only talking about the sequel, that will have to be The Way I Am Now. This book, like the first book, God, I had to read it in one sitting. I couldn't stop. It was that kind of book that I knew if I didn't finish it, I wasn't going to sleep very well because it was going to be messing with my head and I would have the worst night's sleep ever. So I thought might as well just keep reading, which meant that I finished reading this book at like 3 in the morning, but regret nothing. And then the second book I started right away hours later after I had some sleep, and again, incredible. Like, it's dark, it's not for everyone. The main character is a girl who has been essayed by her brother's best friend, someone who she had a crush on forever, and everyone knew about it. And gosh, you can imagine, like, the story just doesn't go any better from there. It did take a turn, like a different turn from where I would have expected. Like, it's because instead of being scared of men, she just decides she's going to take control over that. Although she does do it in a very unhealthy way. That's basically what we see in the first book, and then the second book is when she's actually trying to get better. And again, the story, I love that the romance in it, for some reason, I really liked as well. If you think about the interactions that both had, they're not many, but they're quite meaningful. Yeah, I don't know how realistic it is, but at the same time, I loved it. Loved it. Still think about it. And the third book is coming out later this year. I don't know if it's in October or something. So excited. So I guess I'm answering one of the other questions, which is my most anticipated release for the second half of the year, which again, that's one. But also, I am so excited for the third book in the Alex Stern series. I read 9000 Hellbent last year or the year before? No, the year before. I don't know. I've read both, loved both. I right now only own Hellbent. I still need to get my hands on my trophy copy of 9000 so I can do a reread and read the one that's coming out in 15th of September, which is my mom's birthday as well. How lucky. Like for mine, I only know of The God of the Woods, which I think came out in 2023, the 2nd of July. But yeah, Deadbeat, so looking forward to it. And the third book, which I don't know what it's called, of The Way I Am. Where I was, The Way I Am Now. I don't know what the third one's called, but I'm excited. A new release I haven't read yet, but I want to. I originally thought that would have been The Way We Met by Abby Jimenez, because it was one that was on my list. Like I was really looking forward to reading it. It was actually like I actually thought of buying it as soon as it came out. I had it marked on my calendar as something to keep in mind because I wanted to read it so badly. But after reading a few other books by her, I don't think Abby Jimenez is for me. As much as I want to, I think Just for the Summer was absolutely brilliant. It was amazing. But then Say You'll Remember Me was a DNF for me. Then I read Part of Your World, and I think it was alright. But again, it wasn't my favorite because all three of those books insta love it, and she does do a good job at it. Like feels believable in a way. Like their characters are so passionate about the way they feel for the other person, like so quickly. They are fun. Her books are fun. It just feels a bit repetitive for me. And then I read the next one, Yours Truly, I think, and that wasn't Sylvie at all. But again, there was something about the characters that made me soft DNF. So sadly, it's not The Night We Met anymore. So I think there's another book that actually saw someone show it on a video yesterday. It's called Phoebe Berman's Gonna Lose It. Literally just heard about it yesterday, and yeah, I think it came out in May this year. Obviously haven't read it, but now I really want to. It's basically a book about a 30-year-old virgin who's, well, no, or is she? She's either 30 or she's about to turn 30, and she just wants to finally get it over with. She wants to lose her bloody virginity, be done with it. And that sounds relatable and very funny. So yeah, I hope it's being done well. But yeah, I'll probably be vlogging about it because as soon as I finish the books I'm currently reading right now, that's definitely next on my list. So there we go. Now for biggest disappointments, luckily I haven't really read books that I hated that much. So the two come to mind. One is a DNF, and another one is one that just isn't the worst book I've read, but it wasn't what I was expecting from it. So first of all, we've got Red Inferno Devices trilogy, and I loved it so much. Like the third book, it moved me. So I was so impressed by it. So happy with those reads, with those books, that I thought, well, let's move on to the next trilogy on the list, and that is The Dark Artifices. So I moved from the Inferno Devices to the Dark Artifices, expecting to love it just as much, even though the Inferno Devices happens during the Victorian era, which I'm biased by. Like I love any book set in that time. Dark Artifices is more like a modern day. That's not it, like I had such high expectations, and the book isn't the worst, but I just didn't connect with it the same way I did with Inferno Devices. The romance, I just didn't get it. Like one of my favorite things about the Inferno Devices was the relationship between the Parvati, the connection they have. I thought it was so incredibly beautiful. And with the Dark Artifices, we do follow again another pair of Parvatis, but the problem is that they actually have feelings for each other, and that's a big no in the Shadowhunter world. But I just didn't like it. I didn't connect with him at all. It just Emma Cortez. She's not unlikable, but just made me feel nothing. Julian Blackthorne. I did find him like to be a very interesting character because you never know what he's thinking or what he's going to do next. He's kind of mysterious that way. Like he's in love with Emma, but like he carries a lot of weight on his shoulders, looking after all of his siblings and be responsible for everything. Basically running the institute in LA and everything. Like I think he's an interesting character to read about, so that kept me going. But yeah, so I did enjoy that. And then I started reading Lord of Shadows, and I still haven't finished it. I started reading it months and months ago, and I'm like 100 pages, I have 100 pages left on it. And who knows when I'm gonna finish that. Although the story did get a bit better because you see other characters and there's so many POVs that the story feels really fun to read because you keep changing POVs. So the moment you're like there's a cliffhanger every time you change POVs, so that keeps you, at least me, kept me very interested in the book. But still, mainly interested in the two twins and the other boy. I forget all of their names, like it's been a while. But yeah, they're definitely my favorite. But yeah, overall, bit of a disappointment. And then my DNF is they read in June, and it's called The Things We Never Say. And I believe like it's a very hyped up book. I don't know if it's won some awards or something, but I know a lot of people like it. But to me, after I read Remarkably Bright Creatures, Shark Heart, and Hard the Lover, those books were all 5 stars for me. Absolutely brilliant. They got me out of a reading slump. It was brilliant. They were all brilliant books. So when I went for The Things We Never Say, I felt like it was a bit surface level. Like, yes, you got the main character, like he basically wants to die. It almost feels like he wants to die, but also like he has no reason for it, which fair enough. Could be a chemical imbalance. I don't know. And then he has like the thoughts, like the things that we never say, but to me they felt very surface level. I didn't connect. I didn't like him at all. I didn't like any of the characters. Like I couldn't do it. I think I managed to make it perhaps 40% into it, and then I had to the NFL. I just did not like it at all. I don't know if it gets better later on, but it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. No, for my biggest surprise, I wouldn't know which one. Like first thing that comes to mind obviously is the Count of Monte Cristo. The Count of Monte Cristo, because obviously 6 bloody stars. Such an amazing book. But also, like, there's been so many other books that I love so much. Shark Heart, I went into it thinking I was going to enjoy it, but the way that it moved me, the very lyrical, poetic sort of writing, the descriptions of love and everything, it was so good. Same with Hard the Lover as well. I still think about it because also very like book about love. Same with Sharkha, like they talk about love, but they're not very hopeful. You know, they don't leave you feeling light and fluffy. They make you feel like heavy and just make you ponder so much. And I love that. Just make me feel heavy. Sometimes that's all I want. Like sometimes I want a whimsical, fluffy book, and sometimes I just want you to make me ponder, make me question everything, make me want. Favorite new author? I don't know. Because if I'm completely honest with you, I not want to add authors to my favorite list very easily. So forever, my favorite author has been Carlos Ruiz Zafón. That has never changed. He's the one that basically made me love books, and there's no one like him. There will never be. So there's him, and then there's Emily Henry. It's been hard to add someone else to this list, but I feel like every single book that I've read by her I have loved. Although I've never given her 5 stars because I don't think she's very good with the third act breakup. Like in general, third act breakups are annoying and but sometimes they make sense, and I feel like with Emily Henry books they are just something to check off, almost feels like. So because of that I've never given her books a 5 star, but I have loved them all. Nobody makes me laugh like her, and yeah, I would reread them no problem at all. So she's definitely made it to my favorite author list, but there's nobody else really, because I might enjoy a book, I might really like it, but to actually put an author as my favorite, it's a very difficult task. Newest fictional crush? Yeah, no doubt it will have to be Charlie from One Golden Summer. I I watched the show that Amazon Prime did, which I think because I watched it before I read the books, I kind of enjoyed the show. I watched it in one day, binge watched it, and I really enjoyed it. So then I decided to read the book. Really liked it as well. And then One Golden Summer. I totally get it. Like I think everyone's always hyping up this book. It's so good, and Charlie is just bloody perfect. Give me a Charlie. Just give me a Charlie. Just give me a Charlie. He might be an ass in the first book, but he gets so good. Your favorite character? Probably Count of Monte Cristo. What I'm gonna say? Like, what can I say? He is the most interesting character I've ever read about. Complex, Is planned, everything bloody perfect. There we go. A book that made me cry the way I used to be, broke my heart. Did I cry? No, actually, I didn't cry, so scratch that. I actually have been doing a crying rap, keeping tabs on my notes app of every time I cry. So I could answer this question checking that. So book lovers made me cry when the sisters are saying goodbye to each other. I don't remember that anymore. That's bad. But I think the one that's made me cry the most this year has been Clockwork Princess, Jam saying goodbye, and oh god, and the way it affects Will, that was so sad. Like I said, their connection, their relationship, their friendship is so beautiful. I believe that's the book that's made me cry the most this year. And a book that made me happy, possibly Remarkably Bright Creatures, although it did made me cry a bit. But I think overall it's such a beautiful book, and the ending is so touching. Yeah, I think that's probably it. Like it made me hopeful, especially after reading Shark Heart and Heart the Lover afterwards. Remarkably Bright Creatures, yeah, definitely a book that made me happy. And the next few questions are most beautiful book I've bought this year so far. And then we've got what books I need to read before the end of the year. And apart from the my voice is apart from the books that I'm looking forward to reading when they come out, I don't really have a set list. I don't normally do that because I'm a mood reader. Like I think for me personally it's absolutely pointless to set myself a list because I never know what I'm going to want to read. I might find a new book and then completely forget about the ones I wanted to read before. So yeah, I don't have an answer for that. Beautiful book. Like I look at them all the time. They definitely will have to be this. Princess Swap, Rapunzel and the Sea Witch, The Little Mermaid, and The Tower. Like it's so colorful, so pretty. Like the colors are, I could stare at it all day. The illustration is very beautiful too, and it's got a very colorful ombre sprayed edge, which I normally don't care about, but this is so pretty. Definitely has to be most beautiful book I've gotten this year. So yeah, there you go. That's it. For this book tag. Hope it was alright. I'm going to cut down my answers because I think I rambled quite a bit. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you soon.